Hey, let's start with a commercial, okay? Kind of, sort of, not really. I want to show you a product that I absolutely love. This is not a paid endorsement. I don't have any paid endorsers. This is just me with a product that I really like, and I want to show it to you because if you ever need anything like this, man, I highly recommend this. What I want to show you is a lawn chair or a camp chair that I use every day, and I've been using it for over 10 years. Hang on, let me turn my camera around. Okay, this is it. This is called the Strongback Chair. Strongback Chair. This chair is wonderful. It is so comfortable. Kiki agrees. Don't you agree, Kiki? Yes, she agrees. You do agree, don't you? Yes, I agree. Okay. Remember that name. I've been using that chair for at least 10 years. I first bought one about 10 years, at least 10 years ago, probably more than 10 years ago. And it is so comfortable. It's got great lumbar support. It's almost, I could almost put it in the house and use it as a recliner. I absolutely love it. It's the best camp chair I ever found, and I've had quite a few. But what happened is the one that I had, eventually, now they'll send you like a cover for it. You can protect it and give it a longer life. But the one that I had, it was just like this. It was black. They have them in black, blue, like a royal blue color, and a lime green. But I went with black. But mine was out in the elements, and over time, about a month ago, I went to sit down in it, and it ripped. The seat of it ripped. I said, uh-oh, and it wasn't getting any better. So I went ahead and ordered me another one. They're about $100 or so. You can, if you're interested, you can find them on Amazon, or you can go to the website. I think it's strongback.com. It feels great on your back. If you're ever in need of a camp chair, and again, this isn't a paid endorsement, I'm just telling you something I really like. If you ever need one, they are fantastic. Strongback chairs. All right, let me get up. I want to go. Let's go for a walk in the woods. What do you say? Because there's something I want to talk about. Something that's preying on my mind. I hope we're okay with daylight. I was looking at yesterday's video. The lighting, it was pretty bad. I didn't have a lot of. It was poorly lit. Although I was outside, it was still poorly lit. There's my black and gray. I really like this trailer. I have plans to turn it into a camper, like I said in the previous video. Down the road sometime. It's 7 by 16, and that's going to be a fun project. Although I don't know how much of it I'll be doing, because I'm not exactly Mr. Handy, you know. But maybe we've got enough light to get this video done. It's, what is this, Friday? Thursday or Friday? Today's Friday. This is Friday. Man. Friday, and I think it's around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Check that chair out if you need one. It really is great. Be sending your prayers up for Marina if you will as well. She's really not doing all that great, and we have a doctor's appointment scheduled for her next week, next Tuesday. So we're going to try and find out what's going on with her, what's got her ailing. So prayers up for her. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really do appreciate it, and I really enjoy our visits, and I like hearing from all of you that I do hear from anyway. Something's really bugging me. Can you tell? And it may be of no surprise to you at all. But what's really bothering me is the fact that when we put Donald Trump in the White House, those of us who voted for him, the plain and simple truth is that a lot of us who supported Donald Trump were actually, if truth be told, out for retribution, out for vengeance. We've been tired of being kicked around by the leftists for so long, of this one-sided justice where it's only the good guys that get in trouble and have to pay the price, have to pay the piper, like the J6 prisoners. But you don't see the actual bad guys have to pay too much of a penalty for their crimes. And, those of us that are on the right, in MAGA or whatever you want to call it, we just had to sit back and take it for years. 4 years of Biden, 8 years of Obama, 8 years of Clinton. And then, of course, you throw the GOP in there as well. 8 years of George W. Bush, of his father. I mean, what's the difference when you get right down to it? So Trump is this breath of fresh air, and we're kind of thinking, at least I'm kind of thinking in the back of my mind, Trump's going to get into office and he's going to be the bull in the china shop. He's going to raise all holy hell, and these people that have been bullying us around for so long are going to pay the price. They're going to pay the piper. I kind of thought that. I'm not really all that naive, but I did think that Trump was going to set some things right. Again, I try and be objective about Donald Trump. I try and be emotionless as much as is possible about Donald Trump. I appreciate many of the things that he has done. But here's a little fact that I think most Americans know. You hear this from time to time, and I really do believe that it's true. The days may be a little bit skewed. I mean, it may not be exact. But we often hear that a new president, the first 100 days of his administration is like the honeymoon. And he has as much political capital as he's ever going to have. And he basically has to strike while the iron is hot, if you follow me. You ever heard anything kind of like that? I mean, he's got to get while the getting's good. He goes into office, at least this time, as far as I'm concerned, with a mandate. He wins huge. He wins the Electoral College and he wins the popular vote. So there's no doubt he was the choice of the American people over Harris. So you get into office and it is time to wreak havoc. It is time to go to town and get some things done. And I'm not suggesting he's been sitting on his hands, because he has been busy. Trump is a hard worker. I give him credit for that. The man, I don't know if he ever sleeps. He's been doing a lot, certainly more than Congress has been doing. He's been, signing a whole lot of executive orders and what have you. I applaud much of what he's done, but folks, there's still some things that should have been addressed that haven't been addressed, and it's starting to really get under my skin. Maybe it will be. What am I talking about specifically? Specifically, what am I talking about that hasn't been dealt with, that needs to be dealt with? Well, I wrote a few things down just off the top of my head. Things that I have wanted to see Trump address as soon as he reassumed the White House. And I'm simply asking the question, when are these people going to be held accountable for what they have done to our nation with what I consider to be nothing but acts of treason in America? For example, who's going to be held accountable for the Russia hoax, and when? When are these people that promoted the Russia hoax ever going to be held accountable? When are we going to see the perp walks? When are we going to see these people in the orange jumpsuits? Who are you talking about? Well, whoever pushed the Russia hoax. I know there were people in the FBI that did it. When are they going to be held accountable for this? When are we going to see justice? Is it going to come from Pam Blondie? If it were going to, why hasn't it? Now, you may be saying, be patient, and you may be right. I don't know. We're, over 100 days in now. Where are the perp walks? Where are the people who push this stuff on us? Why aren't they being held accountable for this? How about this? How about the weaponization of the Justice Department under Merrick Garland? How come Merrick Garland hasn't been called before Congress and held accountable for his weaponization of the Justice Department and his treatment of the political opponents of Joe Biden? How about the arrest of Roger Stone, the arrest of Steve Bannon, the arrest of Peter Navarro by the FBI? Who was behind that? Merrick Garland? Why hasn't he been held accountable for that? Why haven't heads been rolling for this? Where is the retribution? Where is the vengeance? This ain't church, this is politics. And folks, I'm telling you, we have a fox in the hen house. We got a lot of foxes in the hen house, and we have got to deal with them. People, this is just random. It comes to mind. This woman in Minnesota, Ilhan Omar, she was, as I understand it, she was just booted off the Foreign Affairs Committee in the House of Representatives. Well, duh, that's a no-brainer. But my thinking is, why isn't she being booted out of America, for heaven's sakes? Here's a woman who lied to get American citizenship, saying she was married to a man that was her brother, is my understanding. Ilhan Omar is a direct result of Barack Obama's treasonous behavior, if you ask me. It was Barack Obama who allowed the importation of these Somali immigrants. He concentrated them into a particular area of Minnesota, and they essentially built a congressional district in Minnesota and elected Ilhan Omar to Congress. She's got as much right being in Congress as Mao Zedong. I don't know, pick a name. This woman is about as American as, I don't know who, pick a name, as the last pope. May he rest in peace. Why is Ilhan Omar not being dealt with? Why is she not being charged with a crime? How about AOC? Now, the good news is you got to get it where you can find it. Maybe if you've been paying attention, New York Attorney General Letitia James there's a criminal referral out for her because she apparently, and this is the irony of this, is delicious. It is rich. She's been charged, among other things, with over-evaluating her property. Anybody remember what she charged Donald Trump with doing? This was Letitia James in Judge Arthur Engeron's court, where they had this outrageous settlement of like 400 or judgment of like, I think it was like $400 million or something against Donald Trump, who they accused with over-evaluating his properties like Mar-a-Lago. It was just completely and utterly absurd. Perhaps this is some form of vengeance, I don't know, but if she broke the law, she should be held accountable. She should have to answer for breaking the law. And I don't care if she's a Republican or Democrat, folks. Of course, she's a Democrat. How about remember the Afghanistan debacle? That was Joe Biden, where we lost 13 American lives in the pullout of Afghanistan. I'm all for the military pullout of Afghanistan or anywhere else, if you ask me. That's fine with me. But there's an orderly way to do it, and that was not followed, and we lost lives and we lost billions of dollars worth of military equipment thanks to the incompetence of Joe Biden and whoever else was involved in that. Where are the congressional hearings about the Afghan debacle? Who's being held accountable for that? Who's being charged with a crime? Because of their incompetence and their negligence, 13 American people lost their lives. Who's answering for that? Somebody's to blame for it. Who? And why aren't they being held accountable for it? How about the J6 committee abuses? How about all the people that were on that J6 committee? I understand that apparently Joe auto-pinned Biden, and that's another thing, apparently pardoned all these people. It just seems to me that there's more than one way to skin a cat. I don't understand why one of the state attorneys general can't bring some sort of state charges against these people. How about the Wyoming attorney general bringing some charges against Liz Cheney for something? I mean, folks, I'm ready for vengeance. I'm sorry, but there needs to be payback for what we have had to suffer under with Obama and Biden. Lord knows they've been doing it to us long enough. How about 2 assassination attempts? You don't hear anything about it anymore. On 2 separate occasions that we know of, people tried to assassinate Donald Trump. You hearing anything about it? Any hearings about it? Any inquiries about it? Any Warren Commission type committees being formed to look into it? How about Ukraine? How about all the Ukrainian war crimes? How about all the money laundering? How about all the hundreds of billions of dollars that we sent over there? Where could we not audit that? Could we not determine where that money went and who it went to and what it was spent for? How about Gonzalo Lira, an American citizen murdered in a Ukrainian prison under the auspices of Volodymyr Zelensky? Anybody going to answer for that? Where's the retribution? Where's the vengeance? Where's the justice for Gonzalo Lira? Should somebody not have to pay for that? If I go out here and I break a law, I expect that I'll have to pay the price for it, whether it's a traffic ticket or, if I went and robbed a Walmart or something, or robbed a bank, if I got caught, I'd have to pay the price. I fully understand that. But these people literally get away with murder, and they never have to answer for it. How about the private server Hillary Clinton had in her home in Massapequa, New York? You remember that? When she was Secretary of the State under Lord Obama, she had her own private server. She was doing government business as Secretary of State on her own private server that apparently nobody else had access to. Boy, talk about a work from home gig. There you go. Can't beat that. Where's her orange jumpsuit? Where's her criminal referral? Where are the charges against her? Where's the justice for the Americans who had to suffer under people like that? What I'm saying is Trump, he's getting a lot done, but there's a lot he's not getting done. And he needs to... One of the problems is Pam Bondi as Attorney General. Trump needed a bulldog as Attorney General. He needed a... Did you ever see Full Metal Jacket and the drill sergeant, Sergeant Hartman? If you ever seen Full Metal Jacket, just the opening scene in boot camp is worth the price of admission. I used to think if my son ever said he was considering going in the military, I'm going to show him the opening scene to Full Metal Jacket, and it might just change his mind. It would change my mind, I'll tell you that. If you get the reference, Sergeant Hartman is the type of person we need as Attorney General, an absolute bulldog who is hell-bent on holding people accountable and bringing them to justice if they broke the law. You just don't hear this stuff from Pam Bondi. Don't get me started on the Epstein files. Don't get me started on all these other things that we thought might happen but haven't happened. I mean, I've talked about the Epstein files ad nauseum. I'm just convinced we're never going to see them. We're just never going to see it. I don't even know if they exist. I told Marina the other night, I said it could be that What if Donald Trump's name were on that list? And I thought, I really don't care. I mean, I care. I hope it wouldn't be, but regardless, release the names and we'll deal with the aftermath, no matter whose name is on it. But I have low confidence that we'll ever see those names released. What I'm saying is, when you're on your honeymoon, when you've got the most political capital, you've got to strike. You've got to move and move fast, because, folks, historically, the president's party loses power in the midterm elections. And with the pitiful leadership of Speaker Mike Johnson, I don't expect that to change currently. Perhaps it will, I don't know. The Democratic Party is a train wreck, so maybe we'll fare okay. But we could be doing so much better if we had better people in power. It's a shame that Trump gave up on Matt Gaetz for Attorney General. I think he would have been fantastic. I think Matt Gaetz probably understands what I'm talking about. I just don't have a lot of optimism with regard to Pam Blondie as Attorney General. That's all I'm saying. Okay, those are my thoughts here on a Friday afternoon down in the forest. Thanks for watching, everybody. Give me your comments down below and a big like, a thumbs up if you would, please. I would appreciate it. I will see you soon.